right, guys, welcome back to the Three Marketeers Show. This is the episode 87. Manfred already did that. By the way, I just want to warn you guys first.
Good evening.
Tonight, we'll be seeing a very interesting version of Manfred appearing tonight. So we do not know what will happen to him, but we expect something very interesting because we have a beautiful lady here. We all know that, right? Is TY here? TY, can you actually say something? Every time we have a female guest, pretty female guest, smart female guest, Manfred goes weird, right? So we expect him to go weird
I
as
also
well
know
tonight.
Grace.
Yeah. Okay, TY is here as usual. TY is our fourth marketeer, and TY also knows Grace. Obviously, I believe so.
Hi, TY.
All right. So fancy seeing you. He's already saying that. Yeah, he knows Grace. Obviously.
Right,
Now,
right.
agree with me, right, Manfred? Agree. TY, agree with me. Manfred is gonna go funny tonight. Oh, TY say she told his photograph. No wonder looks like Iron Man lah.
No wonder.
No wonder. Okay. Must be the
Nadia
Iron
never
Man
even
thing.
introduce us to us.
Yeah, Chiwa was saying right
Everyone
before her labor. Wow. Yeah.
Oh, wow. What did you say?
Wow. Okay. That's interesting. All right. So as you all know that we have
Tila,
Grace
time
with us
for to
tonight.
take another reshoot already because obviously you have changed.
Yeah, my kids are 8 and 10 years old already.
I know,
so
that's
time
why.
for reshoot.
You need an
Chiwa is
update,
saying
man.
that Chiwa is saying that the corporate shoot, that we say them leng chai one, we say lah. I said that, I think I say that.
Yeah.
Them leng chai, they're envy, right? Jealous. It's taken by her team. Perfect. All right, so guys, you know who to look for. Eventually, if you want to take as Leng Chai photography as TY has, or probably whoever else, right, who's going to do that. So you've got to talk to Grace now. Let me flash Grace the website over here. Sorry, Grace, I didn't give you the chance to say anything yet. I want to promote you before everything else.
Yes.
I think it's this one. Okay, no. This one.
Yeah.
Grace website. Grace website is business.stories.my. If you guys need any help about looking good, of course, that's just a start. Tonight, Grace is going to share with us, other than looking good, what visuals can do for a business. I think that's the reason why we are here tonight. But nonetheless, this is the link that you can actually visit Grace's website to find out more about her services and all. Welcome to the Three Marketeers Show, Grace. Thank you for joining us. And I think I will just pass the baton over to Andrew because he invited you. So, Andrew, how do you meet Grace?
I met Grace on LinkedIn. And
Right.
what attracted for me to follow her was she has a very good and interesting newsletter, and not only she takes visually very, very well photography and also video. And if you go to its site at business stories.my, she tells stories through videos and photography. It's not just taking nice pictures, And
Awesome.
probably as far as Chiwa is concerned, he paid for the lowest one, cheap one, and that's why he gets it. But the real work by Grace actually tells stories, and I think that's impressive. And over time, we got to connected over in LinkedIn, and that's how one day I've said, well, it's about time for us to invite Grace on, because I think now, when everybody is trying to stand out, be different, and they're doubling up on their LinkedIn contacts and all those things, it's about time to actually make a difference visually as well.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
You're just talking about probably getting our photo shoot because we have been looking the same for like 4 or 5 years, which is not the case, right? Because we either grew fat or grew old in a way, but it's still using the same image because we didn't have anything else. But seriously, thank you, Andrew, for inviting Grace. But
My pleasure.
Grace, please share with us your journey and about your business, about your background, about your passion, about why visual storytelling for businesses.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Andrew, Manfred, and Jason for inviting me here because, it's really wonderful to be able to have this conversation and chat with you guys about things that I'm passionate about. Just to give you a very short context to who I am and the things that I do. I've been running my business. Stories for Business is the name of the brand, and I've been running my own company since 2008. So it's 14 years now. My background is actually television and film. So I was a video editor for many years and used to edit local TV programs, movies, and stuff like that until I started this thing and I pursued photography. But about 2 years ago, I got certified as a coach. And so now I'm also a coach. So
Wow.
so not only I do photography, video production, not just myself, I have a team. We also offer live streaming services, things like that. So, and coaching services by myself as well. So that's in a little nutshell. Yeah, and other interesting things. Yeah, I come from Malacca. I'm a Nyonya from Malacca, but I can't cook to save my life. What else? I have two kids. They're age 8 and 10. Yeah, so and I'm also married to a very entrepreneurial, tech geeky husband.
Mm,
Awesome. Thank you so much for the sharing, seriously. Because
yep.
I think what kind of like raised my eyebrow a little bit just now was about the coaching thing. Are we going to talk about that a little bit later on?
If you have
Uh,
time.
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean
we
we
can
can have
actually.
a chat about that as well.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
want to talk about that. I think coaching is a very interesting area where I think we see the need of coming up. But here's the thing: I think we will have a first question. Probably just to understand a little bit more about visual copyright, visual storytelling. Sorry for that. But before that, right, I want to bring up somebody ranting about this. Somebody was ranting that his face is not handsome enough to make it into your page timeline. So
Yeah. I
yeah,
agree.
probably just to make
So
CY.
Jason post and feature it, right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, CY maybe, yeah. That's why I'm very sure when
Yeah.
Manfred goes there,
Mm,
100% for
mm,
sure. Manfred
yeah.
say he's handsome tonight,
Yeah.
just for your information.
But you got to remember, when you get on a plane, it's the same plane, but there's economy and premium, first class and business class and all those things. So, you want to get on a timeline, then you got to be the first class lah.
Probably that,
Yeah.
or you be as handsome as
I
Manfred.
cannot be sitting in economy and complain why I don't get champagne one.
Yeah, true. So, okay, that's joke aside. But guys, if you guys have any questions regarding visual storytelling or anything that you're
Oh,
interested to
yes.
find out more about Grace or her business, feel free to pop your comment.
Yeah.
Pop your comment in the chat. So we will bring it up as and when we see, relevant. Just like before this, we keep bringing up TOI's question over here, right? But now, seriously, Grace, help us understand a little bit about the concept of visual storytelling and why is it important to businesses?
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
yeah,
So maybe before I do that, if you don't mind, I'll just share something very
Okay.
short. It's
please
it's
do.
actually a little activity for you guys.
Okay.
What's going to happen is that I'm actually going to be showing you guys in very very short few seconds some images, right? And I want you to list or yell, or well, maybe just tell us, don't have to yell.
Okay.
You just tell me, okay, how many things, what are the things that you see? Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So
So,
wait. I have to coordinate with you. So we're gonna show for how many seconds I need to count.
no. Wait, I don't
No.
worry. I will share my screen now
Yeah.
first,
Let us
and then
share a
Okay.
screen.
Okay.
don't worry. It's not gonna go by yet.
Okay.
Can you
I'm
see my
taking the
screen
screen in
share
right
now?
now.
Can I cheat and use the handphone and take photo?
Wait. Let me show to the screen
Use
right
as
now.
many
Okay.
things as
Yes.
you can.
Okay.
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 Oh, that's
Okay, so yeah, if any of you guys or people out there, as you're watching this, you can participate together with this as well.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So let's see. Let me get this down. So are you guys ready? Don't blink, okay? Because if you blink,
Okay.
you may not.
Okay. I'm making sure I'm not blinking. I'm just like, wow.
oh, so many.
Holy crap.
Walao
Did you blink, Jason? I told you not to blink.
I did not blink, but I didn't know how. Oh, wait, hey. All right. So what?
I cannot show you again.
Right.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So what is
Durian,
that?
cake, Mount Fuji, rocket.
How come you remember so many things? I only
Baby,
remember the bloody cat.
flower,
You're not paying attention.
flag. I think American flag.
Yeah, there's a baby, there's a cat, there's a cake, there's a I don't
There's a
know. Like,
mountain. I think it's Mount Fuji.
Yeah. Sorry, you can stop the screen share now.
okay, let me bring the screen now.
Or I can stop the screen share. Yeah. Okay.
Second only lah.
How many?
Okay.
5 things?
Five.
Six things?
Yeah. 4,
I
5.
I have like 3. I probably got 3.
You probably
Yeah.
got 3.
I
Yeah.
think roughly
So
has
mine.
8 objects, right? Roughly around 8 objects.
No, I
So-
remember 3. I think there are at least about 20.
No lah, not 20 lah. Roughly around
So
8.
guys, there are 25 images in
Calm
3
down.
seconds.
5.
25 images in 3 seconds. Okay.
Holy.
So so it's very fast. So what's the whole point of all of this actually? Why am I showing you guys this?
Oh yeah.
Basically the whole idea is that our human brain can actually retain information, visual information, and as little as like 13 milliseconds. And it's just really incredible, right? To think that we are able to actually absorb, right? In such a split second, 3 seconds, you could actually retain and look at it. Of course, if you're not paying attention, then obviously you probably won't even notice it. But like, you pay attention and you notice something and it becomes an impression on you, right? So this is one of the reasons, and why is it actually important to tell stories visually? Because as human beings, right, we have five senses, right? I mean, like, we have this sight,
Sight,
sound,
hearing,
taste,
taste, smell,
yeah,
touch.
yeah.
Touch.
So as human beings, we are such experiential people, and when we go through life in just normal everyday life, right, we are actually bombarded by our senses are bombarded by all of these things, and so if, for example, you looking through your phone and it's such a visual thing, and there's so many different things that are actually screaming out for your attention on your screens, what is it that actually gets retained? Right? Out of 25 images, you actually only retain only 3 or 4 things, right? And you only remember a few key things. And these are only static images. Imagine what could happen for you if you're actually doing or watching a video, because not only are you able to have the sight, like to see something because you are seeing something visually, but you also get to hear the sound. And that's another part of our human senses. And so we are able to connect better. We are able to feel like we identify with the person better, and all of these things actually add value to how we feel. And I mean, ultimately, what is it that businesses really want to do when you tell stories? You really want to be able to connect.
That's
You want to
true.
connect, yeah. You want to connect to your clients. You want to connect to your potential clients who are considering your services, and you want to build trust.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. So that's the importance of storytelling. I mean, yeah, but how can we relate this to a person, to us? Like, for example, like what kind of? I mean, I'm trying to relate back to your services, yeah, Grace. I'm hoping that in this discussion itself, other than understanding what visual storytelling is all
Yeah.
about,
Yeah.
probably we want to link it to your services and how do you help people visual storytell about
Mm.
themselves or their business? What are the
How do you
specific?
flesh it out?
Yeah,
How do you
yeah.
flesh that
Like,
story
like,
out?
like. Okay, not me, Manfred.
Mm.
That dude Manfred. So how would you actually help him tell the story, like in using the services, like probably with that?
Yeah. Yeah. So oftentimes, what we see out there visually is really a representation of who we are. Like, I mean, if you're a solopreneur, if you are, building your business, if you're a coach or any, you run any business whatsoever, and you really want to be able to tell the story of your business. And oftentimes, we come across as telling, like, this is my list of services and this is what I do. That's most of the
It's so
time, that's what we
boring.
do, correct? Like, this is just that sense of reporting. But actually, visual storytelling is a lot deeper than that, because if you think about storytelling, and this is storytelling from, like, ever since the dawn of time, stories have always connected hearts. Stories have always made you feel something. It's always made you, like, brought you along on a journey, right? So even as a business, how can you tell a story that will bring your potential clients along on a journey?
All right. So that's okay. Now, Manfred, yes.
Yes. So can I sum it up in my words? Is maybe creating that perception or gut feel within that short period of time, based on your limited number of photos or videos.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but just one question. I see a lot of photos, professional photos, done in black and white. The kind of very gray. Why? I don't
Monotone,
understand.
monotone colors.
Why? I really don't catch them.
Black and white, as
I
in
know.
like really grayscale black and white.
Grayscale, grayscale,
Yeah.
Why?
monotone colors.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, people have different preferences, right? And sometimes some things, some visuals speak to you more than other visuals. Why is it that someone looks at a particular photo and feels like so strongly about this image? And why is it that someone is drawn to a dark and moody image versus why is one other person drawn to a very bright, cheerful kind of image? It is always a reflection about ourselves, you know, it kind of like reflects back about who we are as a person. And this is really coming back to, you know, Jason, what you asked about my work, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's not just about photography, it's not just about like doing a video, it is going a lot deeper. And that's where, as a coach, this is how I actually help my clients to really dig deeper, to understand what is it that you really want to communicate, what is it that actually you're all about, like the values that you share, the things that you believe in, and you want to portray. And you know, this is who you are, right? And this is what is the story that will relate to people, like maybe your founder story, those kind of things. And then, you know, when you kind of identify all of these things, essentially the content for your video will actually come out.
Now we're getting somewhere. I like this. I like this. I like where we are going right now. At least we are helping people to understand. I'm taking this as a probably like helping you to pitch. Like Chiwai was saying, your work makes his face more approachable. Wow, seriously.
Wow.
Okay, now less
It's not easy, no.
intimidating. Since when you're intimidating, Chiwai, like package himself into a pitch, into the pitch deck. So
Very nice.
according to what Chiwai is, sharing with us right now, thanks Chiwai for this, right? And
Yep.
I think that means you do a lot of communication even to from the very beginning. Like for example, you probably would tell Manfred, "Ah, go dye off the gray hair over there, and probably don't wear purple or something like that." Is that so? You do help, you do connect with the prospect of the client, helping them. I mean, let's talk a little bit about the coaching part. How did the coaching part play a role in your services, like over here, helping people to storytell?
Yeah. So, like, usually in terms of the clients who come through my doors, we really want to be able to understand our clients a little bit better before we photograph them or we create a video for them, you know. And it's not like a cookie cutter template
Yep.
that we want to be able to create. So what we do, and it's not always that I'm the one who's photographing, or my photographers perhaps. So oftentimes we want to try to understand our client better. So we will have a questionnaire prior to a photo shoot and or a video shoot to understand our client better. And sometimes we ask a lot of questions that might be very hard for some people to answer, like, you know, what values do you stand for, what do you want your images to reflect, right? So then it causes a lot of reflection. And sometimes some clients actually cannot really answer some questions because they never thought about these things.
Yeah.
They've never really identified these things or really truly found a brand identity that they like absolutely resonate with.
Right.
Yeah, so this is what we do. We help our clients through with a little questionnaire. And of course, if you know you're not really able to answer, then we will try our best to just do what we think is suitable for you, right? Because if you don't give me the information, that's only
Yeah.
so much I can do for you. Okay, so yeah, so it's that's what we do. And especially more so when you're creating a video, because you know, you taking photos, you maybe you want to create a certain persona, but when you have a video, there's a lot more than just like communicating through your facial expressions and
Yeah.
you know, all these little micro things. It is about facial expressions and body language, but it's also about in a video, it's about the tone of voice as well. So all of these different things are actually communication tools, and these are the ways that you can communicate effectively. And we would really need to get to the heart of actually what is this client all about, and then we can kind of create a more effective video for you.
Right.
Not easy, no.
It sounds like, totally worth the money. But before that, if you guys are really looking for somebody to help you storytell, as in like whether it's photo shoot, whether it's video, you probably want to connect with Grace or on LinkedIn. I'm flashing the link over here, linkedin.com/in/Grace Tan-stories, or you can just go to LinkedIn and search for Grace Tan. And if you want to work with Grace, if you want to find out more about her work, you can actually go over to business.stories.mind.
Yeah.
Awesome domain.
Look at our
business.stories.mind.
profiles, yes.
You can actually go over and look at whatever that is available. I think we have photography, we have videography, and coaching as well. And I think Grace just shared with us a little bit about how her coaching, so-called role as a coach, can actually play a role in helping you to probably unearth your like the value, or how to really help you portray yourself better among your so-called clients or potential clients to come. All right, so I have another comment coming from Chiwai. I mean, Chiwai is giving a lot of good words for you, Grace. I think this guy is really happy. Although he didn't get featured on your
Thank
timeline,
you.
but with all
Satisfied
these
client.
kind words, we can feature him for a bit, for a week, then we bring it back down. Just kidding. So Chiwai was saying during the shooting session, the position where you place your hand also affect the end result. Like, whoa, hand overlay with which hand, and they communicate with the subject on what the business is all about. Awesome. That's such detail.
Wow.
That speaks a lot about the professionalism over there in order to help you really tell your story in the most effective way. Thank you, Chiwai, for the sharing. You
Yep.
deserve a feature. All right. Please contact Grace for more information on how to do that. Just kidding. All right. Right. I want to bring us to the next question over here, which is because just now we understand about why is business. Storytelling important for businesses, and we also understand a lot better about the services, or how's behind the scene. How do you actually work with your client to help them?
So
Show.
that's essentially your process, right? You actually go through the steps to actually understand the person, understand the so-called the origins and what they stand for before you layer on, if you're taking photography or video, layer on the colors, the background, and the way it's being done to basically flesh out the real person that they want to portray.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's about the personality. It's about the people, right? That will lead us to the next question over here, which is, why is it important for business leaders to be seen and heard? Why the heck do Chiwai wants to do this? Like, why? Why must Chiwai do that one? Why must probably like Manfred do that?
Or any one of us.
Yeah,
CEO
anyone of us.
start talking already, must always put their most positive notes. Elon Musk already set a very positive example.
Elon Musk was not entirely positive in the past few days, though. Anyway,
I choose the wrong.
yeah.
Steve Jobs said such a
That's it.
high value.
As much as we hate to admit it, right, we do judge a book by its cover.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah, and that's the truth. Like, you look at somebody's profile photo, whether it's on Facebook or LinkedIn or Instagram, and we look at this and like, maybe you might be a bit more forgiving if the profile photo on Instagram is a dog, but you wouldn't be so forgiving if it was on LinkedIn. So
Can I share something?
right.
Can I share something?
Lost a dog.
Statistics shows that when Facebook was introduced around 0809, around that period of time, there's a huge spike of divorce, because people see all the good pictures, good photos. Why am I like that? Why couple can go honeymoon every quarter, everything? How come I'm not leading this kind of life? My spouse is not treating me so. It's not real, by the way. So people tend to see the positive side. They never see all the hardship. So packaging, in Japan especially, packaging is extremely important.
It's true, right? Like you just go to a supermarket, and I don't know about you guys whether you're absolutely brand loyal. If I knew nothing about a particular item that I was going to buy, and I just look at the packaging, I would just choose the one that looks nice.
I buy the box instead of buying the product. I buy the box.
Yeah, I look at also I don't really sometimes look at the ingredients and things like that. But it's the truth. The first impression actually really does make a huge difference, right?
Very true.
And then of course you want to be able to see that this person has substance, beyond just the pretty image or the good looking picture that you put up out there. And so as a business leader, you really do need to represent yourself well. And it's now, honestly, nowadays it is like everybody is out there. It's so easy to be seen, right? And the truth is that like we have to be very reflective about what is it that we actually want to represent, and who do we want to represent, like ourselves, like who do we want to be, and how do we want to represent ourselves out there. So when you close that gap, like I feel when you close that gap between like who you truly are and who you represent, like what you put out online, and you close that gap to be as authentic as possible, I think that's just, to me, like my ultimate goal. And my ultimate goal for all my clients is to be able to help them show up as authentically as they are online, visually as well. Obviously visually. Yeah. So this is, I feel that, like, in today's day and age, people follow people. They don't just follow brands for the sake of following brands, but everybody wants to hear the story. Everyone wants to hear, like, hey, who is this person really? Like, if you look at somebody's Instagram, their personal Instagram will probably have more business leaders or any of the influencers, right? The personal Instagram will have more followers than actually maybe a business Instagram.
Very
Yeah.
true.
So that's why it's important for actually business leaders to be seen and heard, and to be seen as the market authority, I guess, in your area of field, a field of interest, whatever you're doing. Mm.
Yep.
I mean,
People buy from people.
People
Yeah,
buy from people.
that's
Yeah.
very true. That's very true. But okay, I have a question. Moving forward from, I mean, like, taking the step further from this question itself. I mean, can I understand that you actually help your client to do a bit of, maybe you give them advice in terms of how to package themselves? Do you actually do a bit of advice on that? Like, because you see, here's the thing. In nowadays, is a photo or a well produced video may not be sufficient. Like, for example, we do go live like this. Like, I go live 4 to 5 days a week. So how do I make sure that I maintain the consistency? Do you help me in this area?
So for me, I'm not an image consultant, so I don't usually give very detailed advice about, like, okay, why this color would be better for you, or things like that. Okay.
Right.
Well, I can kind of suggest, and when you come, I will be able to have a look at that. But I think in terms of the advice and the things that I give, I basically walk alongside my clients to help them to align. To basically, the whole idea is to really align what you really hope to achieve and how we can help you get there. So yeah. So after that, right, after the journey, when you take the pictures, when you take the video, if you need extra coaching services, yeah, that's another exploratory area to work towards. But most of the time, if a client comes in and they only come in and say, I just need great photos, they just take that, it's done, and then they go off.
I see. Yeah, of course.
Yes,
Question.
Manfred.
So just one curiosity, he truly, you will consider who he truly is, what he want to portray, the plus part. Do you consider the recipients also, the target market, who they actually want? Say example, let's use back Elon Musk, say futuristic moving to Mars. He wanted to attract people who also wanted to embrace hope for the future, because maybe one of these days we need to migrate to another planet, so something far flung that people will look up to him. So that's the target audience. So do you consider the target audience when you wrap the whole thing up? Yeah.
Yeah. So as I said, like, we can consider this when we have information. And I mean, I must say that not so much for a photo shoot, like, unless client takes for more, like, let's say they want more branding images type of thing, rather than just basic headshots, for example, right? So then, if you're creating a video, probably we'll dig in a little bit deeper about this. Yeah, to understand actually how are you communicating, because, like, maybe your target client actually speak a certain lingo, is it, like, and so your clients can identify with you because of the tone that you use. Yeah. So that's basically something to consider.
Right. I mean, because nowadays, we all know that going online is really a very dangerous thing. So if we build an image and we don't really portray along the way, like, we probably go haywire a little bit, and we talk nonsense for a while, and it's gonna break the whole thing, because whatever appears on the internet stays on the internet. So it's a very dangerous thing. I mean, but nonetheless, I think we want to move to the next question over here, which is, like, Grace, I would like to pick your mind on this. Like, are you seeing a trend where business leaders no longer hide behind the company's brand? How's the trend going? Is it really something that is happening right now?
Yeah.
Or it is only happening amongst a certain bunch of people? Most of them are still not ready for this.
I do think that if you are running a business in today's, I mean, like, I don't know, when you think about like what do you compare it to, right? If you compare it to like 10 years ago or do you compare it to like 20 years ago, like it's a matter of comparison thing. But for me, I feel that, yeah, I do see a lot of people trying to establish authority. And this is where that credibility comes in, because if you have visibility, then you can have that credibility. If you show up, you can have credibility, right? And I think coming back also to that question or that comment that you said, something along those lines about like portraying who you are and who we are, what we put out there. I had a client of mine who actually sorry, not a client, this is somebody who I met on LinkedIn, and he kind of said that during one of my webinars, and he says, wow, Grace, you really smash this idea that actually we have to put a mask on when we put out a particular image. And no, it's true. Like, because he says that, like, I feel that I need to always have this particular image that's like everything looks so good and stuff.
Right.
But I think like what I strongly advocate is about authenticity as well.
Yeah.
You portray, and it's okay not to make mistakes and stuff like that, because I think that's what people like to see, like real people. Like, you're not perfect either. Okay.
Yeah.
So,
True,
so that's what
Yeah.
that's what
And
people
try
like.
to put up the best part of you lah.
I mean, that's
It
social
doesn't-
media lah, right? We
Yeah.
put out
show
the
the
best.
best part lah. You doesn't need to hide or
Yeah.
deny. I think the two guys know me too well. So I better watch my words.
No,
Yeah.
we were waiting for you to unleash the hawk in you tonight.
Don't get us started.
Just
Yeah,
waiting for that to
and
happen.
and now when we think about this, like how business leaders sometimes need to hide behind a brand. Actually, what is it that you're actually trying to hide?
That's very true.
It's
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know. Like, for me, I just feel that, like, when the more real you are, the more authentic you are, the more you connect with people. That's when people will feel that, wow, I truly identify with your story, I identify with who you are as a person, and then they start believing in the things that you're selling, and it's
Yeah.
it's just so much easier. Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I would. Yeah.
I do see the trend because 20 plus years ago when I was in the newspaper business, we were handling like IPOs for companies, so I get to basically get to know the founders and all those things. Most of the founders, even when you do IPOs, you got to do your press release, you got to do your press conference and all those things. They were terrified, and they say, why should I go and talk to reporters? I run my business for 20, 30 years. I make millions. I'm going to IPO my company. Why do I need to talk to people? I can make business. They were on that. As far as they're concerned, they are supposed to be the guys making money quietly behind the scene. Nobody should know them. It should be private, and then they push the name of the company out. But nowadays, you will see a lot of CEOs are a lot more media savvy. It's comfortable. They will seek out, basically to speak on TV, on radio, to reporters. They are well trained, probably because of education and all those things. But the older generation, they never liked even their face to be published in the newspapers.
Yeah.
Empty LinkedIn profile face.
No, it was
Yeah,
very
yeah.
in those days.
Placeholder.
Yeah.
No, I mean, if okay, I ask you guys, right? Like, if you go to a website and you read about, okay, let's say you wanted to hire a photographer. Okay, that's what they say, and then you go to this
Pictures in a wall of
photographer
text.
A. You go to photographer A's website, and then you see that this photographer A does not have any information about who the photographer is, or how does this person even look like, and versus you go to another site and you kind of feel like you understand more. You see this a really, a nice picture that was taken, then, like, who will you trust more,
I
right?
think
Like,
that connection.
Yeah.
Visually,
Yeah,
you want to
connection.
build that connection. Yeah.
But I want to take this a step a little bit further into the future of the web, which is the Web 3.0. We have been talking about Web 3.0, which is something that is going to happen. It's already happening, and in fact, it's not much different compared to Web 2.0. It's just the technology change and the behavior change. The thing that we have been advocating right here is, I believe every brand, if the founder or the main person or the business leader is not that into this thing, I think every brand must have a face. And that's what we are advocating. Every brand must have a face. So if the leader can't do that, somebody has to do that. Because here's the thing: consumers are changing. In fact, we become a lot more savvy right now. Just like what Grace mentioned just now. If I want to buy from you, I wouldn't just take your word for it. I would actually do my own research, because research is no longer getting to the internet, connecting to the blah blah blah, and have a screen. Research is here. It's on the phone. It's at a fingertip. So it's about what people see about you, and that takes a bit of building. So if you are building a long-term brand, I guess visual storytelling in the Web3 become a lot more important. But it's not just about the visual itself. I guess having a face and getting Grace to help you build the personality of the face that is fronting the business, and really, it's also about consistency and the continuity of building this, because the stacking, the so-called the compounding effect of content can take your business in the long way. That's something that we've been advocating. I'm not sure whether you agree to this, Grace.
It adds up. It adds up.
It adds up.
Yeah.
Because what people want to see in Web3 is the omni-channel presence. I'm hoping to see you everywhere. If I don't see you everywhere, you're not a brand that I want to work with.
Yeah. And people, look at so many multiple sources of information before they make a decision about something.
Very true.
Right? Yeah. So it's like, oh, did my friend use this person's service? Oh, how's the website look like? Oh, how is the Instagram presence? Oh, this person have a LinkedIn. So like suddenly, actually, there's like multiple ways to connect with someone who will potentially become your client. Yeah. So if you have these things in place, it's just so much easier to sell.
That's very true. Yes, Manfred.
I love it how you raise your hands, love.
Yeah, like pointing.
Yeah, very.
Because I have a bad habit of waiting for people to stop their lips.
That's a good habit. Good habit. Good
Yes.
habit. Good.
Yeah.
Like that.
But I wasn't paying attention to what she's saying. I'm telling you, you better finish up. Okay. I'm not sure whether you know that in Singapore there's this very famous called Property Lim Brothers.
Right.
On YouTube,
Right.
they show people property. They say something very good. When the person step into the property, that first few seconds counts. The feeling, this is it. Am I going to buy this as my home? And the effort is insane. They have staging furniture. They change your whole house. I don't know whether up to painting or not, but the furniture change. They know what to match. Then when you step in, the feeling tells you. Because people make decisions based on emotion, not logic.
Yeah, you're so emotional narrating this.
Yeah, I know, man.
I can feel your emotion, bro.
For today's lunch, I feel like eating chicken rice. I never tell chicken rice is good for me or whatever. I don't say what one time, I just feel like eating chicken rice. Same thing. And the other thing is, in almost every single industry, is freaking cutthroat. People only give you that few seconds to make decision.
Actually,
So
very
if you went to the photographer website and you're greeted with wall of text, and you don't feel the unique selling point, I see another photographer's website, maybe just a few photos, but a picture means 1,000 words. You see that photo, you got so much feeling inside there. Wow, I wish I'm the bride, I'm the groom, whatever. Wow, this one really moved me, make me cry. Wow. Here's my credit card, please. I want to do
Why is it so emotional? But that's true. Actually, I agree. But here's the thing. I want to point out something. Why some business leaders are not there. In fact, they fear rejection. They fear somebody may not like them.
Yeah, rejection is just a number.
So
Here's the thing.
the truth is, there will people who reject you anyway.
Yeah.
There will people who won't like you anyway.
Yeah.
Right? So
I rather they go and press the unsubscribe button as soon as possible.
Right.
I don't want to send email to you also.
Correct. I guess that's also an acceleration of business process if you look at this, right? Like back then, when we are doing like the old school prospecting, we need to send email, like probably call first, make appointment. Then only by the time we meet the person, or then only we decide whether we like this person or not, whether we want to do business with them or not. But when the benefit of now, in the digital era is if you put your face out there, people can immediately decide whether they want to work with you or not. Then it saves so much time of traveling, calling and all that. If I don't like you, F off, I mean, I don't want to work with you. But if I like you, then let's work together. But I guess that's something that a lot of people are kind of still having I don't know, can I call this like mind block that is stopping them from stepping up or stepping out, probably into the realm of digital to be there? And,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's hard, right? Like it's hard to actually be vulnerable. It's
That's
hard
very
to
true.
actually show up and to feel that like you can be open to criticism. Oh, I portray myself in this way, and somebody will like, that's not really, you, or something like that, right? So there's always gonna be somebody who may say something against, whatever that you're doing,
Yeah.
whatever you put out there. Your thoughts may disagree with you, and well, that's just going to happen. I think that if we are able to just accept that you are not going to be attracting every single person, and that's
Yeah, right.
absolutely okay. Like you will attract the people you want to attract.
That's
You
true.
know, if it's like your brand is really about what people see, perceive, and think about you, feel, think, perceive. And if you putting out this, image, I guess, if you say like an image of who you are, what you want to represent, you will attract the right kind of people, the right kind of people that you want to attract anyway. And then those who don't really fall into that category, then I guess, yeah lah, they just go to someone else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's about they are whether they are not
Totally fair.
ready. I mean, I guess at this point of time, if you really want a business to thrive in a digital era or probably in the Web3, I guess having a face, or you gotta get ready in one way or another. All right. I mean, that's something. Like the other day, I was just listening to one of Gary V's podcasts. This guy is a bit interesting. He was saying, because he was actually getting questions from the crowd, and people were saying that I don't know. I'm not ready. I'm not sure whether this thing. And he was saying that, look, how old are you? You're like 50. Let's assume that you probably will live up to 80-year-old. You have another 30 year. That's an adult. Don't you think you can actually build this to an extent that like can you make like 5 years to learn this, to get better at this thing? I guess there's no excuse. I think everybody will have to do that.
Urgency. So I don't mind I jump in a bit.
Of course, we love your jumping chicken rice story.
Makes you more human.
Yeah.
Makes you more relatable, makes you more believable. Please say example, if you fail English, whoever has failed English and went through that agrees with you, start to believe in you, put in a bit of trust. But the thing is, I saw someone in Singapore's market, he has a vulnerability. Then
Right.
later on he switched industry. He has a different vulnerability. Then the story start changing. Huh? Then got third version.
Wow.
Well, I mean, perhaps it's really his true story.
Like that. Maybe,
Yeah.
but I find it a bit overused. Yeah. So just sharing.
But you can highlight eventually, end of the
You
day,
can. You can.
your real personality will, especially now with the internet, is eventually will show up. So why build that persona that is fake? Correct?
It's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. You attract the right customers to you.
Hey, Manfred, by the way, talking about the property thing. So let's say you stage the property with all the so-called stage furniture, and the guy looks like this, likes it, buy.
Putting there, then wait for waves
Correct.
of
So I come in, I say I like this based on the because the furniture, everything fits nicely. I say, okay, I buy. Then afterward, I put money down, and then you take away my furniture.
You only buy the property, you don't get the staging furnitures.
Oh.
They really go through extreme length to bring in the furniture, to bring in the professional.
Just to create that feel.
They even started two companies, or one company to do their own videos. They start another company because there's so many agents wanted to need their service. They start another company, youngsters, young recruits, then cater for that market. So I groom my competitors also. Because if I don't service this industry, someone will go and do it. So this one I do, this one I also do. So I win everything.
What they're doing is actually helping the potential clients visualize.
And people buy from
Visualize.
Facebook, especially
Because-
the wife will come in.
Yeah.
I can picture my girl down there playing piano, doing homework, marking her, or the height. You see all the stories inside your head. You don't need to talk so much. Here's the paper.
Okay.
I like this version of Manfred. Not bad, not bad. You know,
Not bad,
link
not bad,
to
huh?
the story. Not bad, not bad, not bad. I like
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
the chicken rice story, perfect. Nail it. Nail it.
I
You know,
think you're
perfect.
I hate agents. Sorry, the agents, property agents out there. You do the same thing, then you expect different result. You do it
Yeah.
exactly the same thing as everyone else. Then you tell me how come cannot work? I work very hard. I work extreme. I really not boss. But people will tell you, no, I'm not. You are the don't know 101% keep saying the same thing. Then your flyer is everything the same thing. Then you expect me to give you a different result. The one who give you a different result is the one that very hanging, just want to do something. So there are people who are doing TikTok, telling story, telling you how to invest. I'm not saying this is something good, but I'm just saying that he's doing something different. He's doing the long run, then tell people. And when he say enough things that people believe in him, the followers will convert. But obviously, it's also another painful part. But most likely will get some results.
I would say come to this point, right? I mean, sorry to chip in a little bit. I guess
Yeah.
it's about, I mean, it's not about following. Like
Yeah.
recently, I supposed to do a 30-day challenge on TikTok and YouTube Shorts and Instagram Reels, but I did all the videos ready, but I kind of like forgot to post it from time to time. But I did an early experiment. In fact, not all platforms are suitable to everyone.
Oh, then which one? Which one? Share with us.
So basically, no. I'm just saying that you have to pick a platform that you're more comfortable with. Like I actually did a week of worth of videos. There's like 6 or 7 videos I put up. I got not exactly cricket on TikTok, okay, but it worked really well for me on Instagram, on Reels. You know, each video I probably would have about 2,000 to 3,000 views, but on TikTok I probably have about 30 to 40. And on YouTube Shorts, it was not doing. But here's the thing. I mean, I'm not trying to tell you which one works better for you, but I guess you have to go on platforms. First thing first, I guess you have to go on platforms to try whether is it for you or not for you. If it's not for you, it's fine, you know. You just got to go for a platform that works for you. Like, for example, I'm enjoying my podcasting. You know, it's already hitting about 60 episodes right now. It's having fun. And my YouTube, yeah, I mean, do whatever that makes you more comfortable. But I guess you have to be prepared to be in the long game. I mean, I think we digress a little bit. We went a little bit about, social media and
We
digital
went all the
marketing.
way to Singapore already.
Yeah, I think we probably have to just give a bit of advice to everyone because Singapore, the Lim brothers came up, right? But before that, let's bring it back to the question or something that we have gotten from our audience over here. Like Chiwai was saying, you're supposed to book for the team shot. So your individual shooting was a test. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess you're happy with the test lah, huh? To ensure it's
Okay.
good before you reel the
Test
team.
drive one, this boss not bad.
Viva is the guinea pig.
Thank you for your testimonial.
All these testimonials is good, and basically, and we have Mark here. Mark is a good friend. Mark is one of the experts in TikTok marketing.
Yes, hi Mark.
Yeah, Mark is here, and Mark say hello to us on both places. Mark, wow, okay, now so supportive. 2 phone going, watching our live. To add up that number. Thank you, Mark. What's up, Mark? And I think
Mazida.
we have another, Mazida also watching this on your Facebook and all that. Hi, everyone. Thank you for watching. Now, if you have any questions regarding visual storytelling, I want to reel it back to the topic tonight, which is about visual storytelling. Or if you need somebody to really help you, like craft your story visually via video or photos, you probably want to get connected with Grace on LinkedIn. Just go over to LinkedIn and search for Grace Tan, and you look at that pretty face, definitely. And the next one is you can actually connect with her via her website. You go to business.stories.my, and that's where you can actually see,
Evolved by the portfolios.
I'm looking at the portfolio right now.
Oh,
You
I tell
definitely
you,
will love
feel
the
like $1
work
million
over here. Yeah, seriously. And can you imagine that? I mean, Grace was just telling us her service is actually, so affordable, starting at 500 ringgit. I mean, I'm not sure whether this is allowed to say, but anyway, for the benefit of all the, viewers over here, if you guys need help, you have the best, okay, yet affordable to start. Why not just go over, just be like Chiwai? Chiwai go there alone, he do it first, and he liked it. Basically, he put in so much good work for this. But now, I want to reel it back to the next question over here, which is, we've been talking about personal branding. Okay, so what is your view about personal branding, and how do you think your service or your so-called your framework or your method of visual storytelling, or the way you help your client unearth their personality and all that, help in personal branding? Let's say somebody is totally new, and probably he's one of the the key man behind a big company,
Mm.
but he wants to do that. He wants to start doing that. What would be your advice, and how
Yeah.
would be
Okay, wow, there's a lot of questions there. So, so basically, I believe it's everything to do with personal branding, because as I mentioned just now, like a brand is what people think and feel and perceive about you, and what you put out online in terms of your website, your visuals, your videos, those kind of things are a representation of who you are. And to me, when you're clear about your brand, what does your brand stand for, what is how do you communicate your values and things that what good brands should be doing, right? If you are clear with all of these things, it can just be translated so easily into your visuals, because there is a sense of a synergy. There is a sense of a feeling that it flows all together so well, right? So you're not creating a video in a, in a sense, just a very on its own silo, like, just creating a video for sake of creating video. But actually you are really kind of like understanding um, what is your unique strengths, what is it, the value that you want to communicate with people, and all of those kind of things then gets communicated and expressed through your videos or your photos that you put out online. Yeah, so that's how it all ties in visually to your personal branding.
Yep.
To
I can
me,
imagine if I were to go through your questionnaires, you probably put me in a very pensive mood already.
no,
Yeah. Sometimes clients like,
What's this? I'm supposed to take this picture. Now you made me so
it's not
sad.
whether you want to review so much thing or not. But for me, branding is more like a shortcut. As in, when people see it, people relate yourself. Say, example, Manfred equals to hardworking, Manfred equals to knowledgeable, Manfred equals to helpful. So
Not true.
the question is,
Not true.
how on earth are you going to put video to express that this person is hardworking, helpful, knowledgeable? Not easy,
Mm, yeah. So yeah, I mean, of course, it's hard to really just exactly communicate certain things, because what you say is not necessarily what people believe in,
Yes.
right? And
Yeah.
and you can
Better than the
say
truth,
whatever you want, but if you say things consistently in multiple platforms, and this is where we talked about like appearing over time and building that kind of brand authority. So it is more about like showing up consistently over and over again, and it's not just one thing that you put out a nice brand video, oh, this is who I am and all, and that's it, end of story. So yeah, I think we need to really think about like how can we remain top of mind, how can we communicate consistently, not only through our writing, what we say online, verbally and in writing, right? But everything that we do, and of course the work has to speak for itself lah.
For some
That's right.
strange reason, whatever you just said, kind of remind me of marriage. Say no use, I must work. Create a perception that you really care for the family. You go the extra mile. Actions speak louder than words, so and so forth. It's hard work, no.
Oh yes,
It's
marriage is
seriously
hard
hard
work. Being a
work.
business leader is hard work.
It is.
Very hard work, no.
Oh.
What? So
The time
emotional.
crying inside, nobody know, no.
Wait, hey, you make sure you want your wife to listen to this.
Never mind, I will edit this portion.
You
I'll
know,
make
yeah,
sure I'll send
especially
it
this
over.
portion where there's so
Yeah,
much
yeah.
expression over
I
there
know,
on the
that's
face.
right. Yes.
Maybe I should pin him up. No. Okay, now we have a comment coming from Sharon.
Hey, 大家姐。
I think, wait, how is it not showing on stream
Yeah.
right now? Sharon is saying, hi, Sharon. Sharon Tan is here, and she said, no doubt, Grace is the best. She's real. You met her. Awesome. And
Thanks, Sharon.
yeah, and I think Mazida was just agreed to Grace's statement just now, and probably I'm not sure whether it's Grace's statement or Manfred's. Manfred's the one
should
that
be
we
Grace,
did.
Grace.
Okay, it must be Grace,
Must
not
be Grace,
Manfred.
yeah.
But we will agree with Manfred's because it's all hard work. Yeah, I mean it's all about how much time you put in building your brand. Here's the thing, I probably want the like ask this question. Do you think, Grace, in your opinion, when you're building a personal brand, when you're doing your visual storytelling, because we have to start with what your client is expecting from us. Okay, and then we tie to our personality to see whether this is really something that we can do or we can do it consistently. Like I say, like what Manfred puts it, if you're not that person, you can't do it for long run. But if I be too authentic, I may scare a lot of people away.
But isn't it supposed to come from inside out?
Can we actually strike a balance? I'm not sure whether is it advisable to have some. I'm not saying a must, or you should probably learn some communication method or some way of portraying, blending in with your authenticity. What do you think about this thing?
So I suppose not all dirty laundry need to be aired lah. Okay, so
Yes, of course.
I guess essentially that's the whole social media question, isn't it? Like, what do you put out and what you don't? What do you show and what you hide or really don't just reveal lah, right? And I think we all have that. Every one of us have that about ourselves, about our lives. There would be things that we are okay to share about. There are things that are not okay to share about. And I feel that sometimes in choosing what to actually talk about, perhaps you may want to think about whether this story actually can maybe provide some kind of inspiration for somebody, because you've gone through a situation and you've come out of that. And then sometimes some stories, maybe actually there's no point to that story, so no need to tell lah. So I feel that like probably you want to try to evaluate, why am I telling this story in the first place? What's my end objective for telling this story?
Yeah, it has to have the context to the next step. It's always this bouncing point where your background story has to add to the next things and then next thing before objective that you want to achieve, isn't it?
I mean,
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, Grace, you're saying?
No, yeah, I would say that give some thought into the things that you want to put out there, and I suppose it's a lot of reflection, right? Like you come to that stage where are you absolutely comfortable saying this about you? And sometimes I've read like stories about business owners or people who have really amazing, challenging stories that they put publicly, that I feel like, wow, like they can share this kind of story,
Right.
and they can actually be so vulnerable. And I think that's where we were talking about earlier, vulnerability. I can't even pronounce that word anymore. It's
not my word.
actually really scary.
Yes.
Yeah,
It is.
Yeah.
It's true.
But it also takes a lot of courage. And when you actually speak with courage and people connect with your story, and it's not about self-glorification in that sense, right? It's that end purpose will be like, hey, I've gone through this, or I've come out of this, and I've come out of this stronger. And people can kind of like feel it, right? I don't know. I that's what I think.
In a way, yeah. Thanks for
But
that.
sometimes it becomes a bit more cliche nowadays because almost everybody does that valley storytelling.
No, I guess.
From where they are, go all the way to the bottom, and then now I've gone up, and that. Sometimes
But definitely, for those who have gone through that, will definitely be able to tell the story. But I guess what I'm actually trying to, pinpoint here is, in fact, there are some people may have to, probably add on some personality in order to make it a little bit more. But I'm just referring that whether this is advisable. But anyway, just gonna quickly look through some of the questions that we have. We have from Mazida. Obviously, she was agreeing to Grace, not Manfred. Okay, so
Yes.
that's a good one. Anyway, so Mazida is asking whether, I'm not sure whether this is a question.
I think
For
more
B2B,
question.
for B2B, is this B2B suitable for personal branding? It's probably we take this as a question, but okay, I think, probably Grace can help us a little bit.
Yeah, so okay, I don't know what industry you're in, Marzida, but like, let's say you're a company that sells
Printers.
or fertilizer to
Mazida is in halal certification consulting.
Sorry.
Mazira is in halal certification consulting, if I'm not mistaken.
Halal certification.
Two
consulting.
companies are.
Okay. Yeah. So basically when you're a business and you're trying to sell to another business, I think it comes back to that what we were sharing earlier about like people follow people and people buy from people, right? And so your business, even though you might think like I'm selling to someone else, I'm not selling to the end client consumer, but the person who's making the decision behind the business is a person. And a person who has feelings, a person that can connect to your story, a person who would like to hear the founder's story of how did this come about, how did your product come about, where's the origin of this, or what is it that you truly believe in. I mean, as you say, we consumers are so savvy nowadays, and other businesses also are savvy. Like you would want to support businesses that are environmentally friendly, for example, right? Or hey, this business they all treat their staff very badly. I will not support this business. So actually, there is a lot of reasoning and things that happen behind that. So when you have a face to the business, and when you come out and, like, for example, people, and you put people out there and become the face of the business, other businesses can also relate to that. And I think that's absolutely fine. However, not everybody in that company, or not everybody in the business, it's not suitable for every single person to probably have very heavily invested in personal branding, or creating a very big brand for themselves. Maybe they're the leaders, or the founders.
Customer facing, at least at the very least.
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of
Awesome.
times it's zero moment of truth. They really dig up a lot of things before they decided to buy. So the prominent figures, or maybe even the salesperson, has some personal branding. Perhaps it will help for the B2B business. Or the CEO itself can help a bit also.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks,
Okay.
Mazida, for your question. Thanks, Grace,
Awesome,
for the
Mazida.
explanation. That brings us to the end of the show, which is
that was fast.
o'clock. Awesome. I mean, we learned so much from Grace.
Yes.
It's a great discussion. But before we go, Manfred, you're up. What's
Yep.
your website of?
Today's
Website of the
website of the
week.
week is for our dear friend Andrew.
Oh, is it?
Called mailgenius.com.
Hang on.
So
Let me
notice
bring it
there's
up.
two parts of it. The Mail Genius. One is the email tester, and the other part is called Stop Landing in Spam.
Interesting.
So email tester. So you're asking, are your email landing in spam folder? So just drop your you just send an email to this testing email, and you will know your score. So as
Oh, wow.
usual, all these are the players that have been using this. They are the number one expert email marketing, and they really consultant, testimonials, blah blah blah. You see, wall of text, wall of text.
It's a paid service, right? It's a paid
Then
service,
the
right?
other service they have is Stop Landing in Spam. This is more consultation.
I see.
Alright.
Okay,
So
disclaimer, I
delivery
haven't tried
consulting.
this. I haven't tried this yet.
Okay.
I come across this.
I'll go check it out. Interesting. That's cool.
This looks very interesting.
Andrew
Awesome.
to try it out. So this is the free booking, get out spam, free call,
Wow, nice.
Right.
wall of text, and I think you all can play around with it. Jason will pass the
Alright.
link.
Ken, the link is already up, and you can already see this link on the screen. And
Thank you, Manfred.
thank you so much, Manfred. And before we go, really have to thank Grace for awesome sharing. And as I put up the link over here, anyone who is interested to work with Grace or find out more about her service or her coaching, this so-called service, you can go over to business.story.my, or you can actually connect with Grace on LinkedIn.
On LinkedIn.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Grace, for joining us
Thank you,
tonight.
guys.
Yes, this is fun. This is
And
fun.
Yeah, this is fun. We love this. Thanks for all the awesome sharing and your insights in a lot of things about how people can start building a brand on your own. But nonetheless, be like Chiwai,
Yes.
book a service first. I think that's something that you can actually start with. All right. Thank you so much, guys. This is what we do. This is the 3 Marketeers Show. I'm Jason, that's Manfred and Andrew, and we have Grace with us tonight. We do this every Wednesday night at 10 p.m. Malaysia time. So if you like this, you can actually find back to our previous episode, 80 odd something. We have a lot of, we have interviewed a lot of awesome people like Grace, and in a lot of topics. Go back and
Yes.
watch on my YouTube channel. And if you want to follow this, come back next week, Wednesday night at 10 p.m. on my channel. This is it, the 3 Marketeers Show. See you next week. Good night. Bye-bye.
Grace, just hang back. We'll be discussing
Yeah.
in the back.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Spirit
Bye,
of
guys.
continuity.